Welcome back to another episode of the Friday Five, jumping right into mortgage rates. VA 30-year fixed 6.4%, FHA 30-year fixed 6.39%, conventional 30-year fixed 6.81%, conventional 15-year fixed 6.04%, and that conventional 7-year ARM 6.27%. So staying under that 7% range, just a little bit of volatility back and forth this week, nothing dramatic. Inflation reports came in kind of static where expected. We didn't see much improvement, but we didn't lose any ground either there. Number two, I'm going to share a chart for you to chew on, especially if you are considering betting against home price appreciation in the next couple years. So this is the Case-Shiller Home Price Index dating back to 1942. And if you take a look at it, there are a total of 6 years where home prices depreciated. And oh, by the way, 5 of them were during the 2007-2008 financial crisis that was triggered by crappy subprime mortgages, poor securitization and ratings of mortgage-backed securities, and kind of a general lack of regulation in the financial industry. And I think most would agree that's not what's going on today. So if you want to bet against home prices in the U.S., I would be cautious because history says U.S. home prices appreciate. Number three, this is a question I get from a lot of current clients who are buying at current interest rates and are looking forward to the possibility of refinancing in the future. So here's the question. If I'm looking to refinance, how much lower does a new rate have to be compared to my current rate? Do I need to save at least 1%, 2%, 0.5%? Well, here's the correct answer. And I know you're going to love this social media world. It depends. In Pennsylvania, outside of the costs of the title insurance, most of the closing costs for a refi are fixed. So the cost to refinance a $400,000 mortgage isn't really that much higher than the cost to refinance a $100,000 mortgage. And the higher the loan amount, the more significant the monthly savings due to a lower rate. So if you save 0.5% at a $400,000 loan, that monthly dollar amount that you save is going to be a lot more than 0.5% on a $100,000 loan. Generally speaking, I think you want to try to recoup the closing costs on a refinance within 3-ish years based on the monthly savings. So in some cases where the loan amount is lower, the borrower may need to save 1% to 2% or maybe even more to recoup the closing costs in 3 years. But then in other cases where the loan amount is $400,000 or $500,000 or $600,000, a 0.5% reduction in the interest rate may allow you to recoup those closing costs in 3 years. So obviously, every situation is different when it comes to a refinance. It's unique. So if you're interested in a refinance, I would encourage you to reach out to a well-established local mortgage professional who's going to be honest with you and not try to convince you to refinance so they can make a couple bucks off it, and then dive into the details with that local professional. Number 4, if you are doom scrolling social media and you see a headline like foreclosure activity in 2025 is up 41% compared to 2020, I want to provide some context for that type of headline. First piece of context I'll offer is that there essentially was a foreclosure moratorium during COVID, so lenders really couldn't foreclose in that time period. So there was almost no foreclosure activity. The truth is, foreclosure filings in the first half of 2025 are up 5.8% from the same time period in 2024. But is this reason to be concerned about foreclosures and home values dropping as a result, like going back to the financial crisis? In my opinion, the resounding answer is no. Check out this chart from Housing Wire. This shows you first half U.S. foreclosure activity by year, and you will see the last really 6 years, dating back to 2020, have been very low. And if you compare them to the time period of 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, we are at like tiny levels compared to those time periods. So certainly any data points that we see increasing when it comes to foreclosure activity should be monitored, but I don't think there's any serious concern about the number of foreclosures occurring right now and how it impacts home values. Number 5, a good life lesson that I was reminded of through weeding a flower bed this week. This week or yesterday, technically. So I was doing some yard work outside at my house yesterday that was way overdue because I go to way too many baseball games. Actually, the truth is I just don't like weeding on top of it. So it was kind of embarrassing, the state of some of the beds around our house. And yesterday I was out there weeding and the sun is beating on me, sweat's dripping off my face. I'm squatting down, my knees kind of hurt. And I thought in that moment, like, man, this kind of stinks. Like, I really don't like doing this. And luckily it's been beat into me or reminded to me or encouraged to me over the years that an attitude of gratitude is always the way to go in life. And I reminded myself in that moment that, one, I am blessed to have the house that I have on 3 acres of land where, yes, it's a bit to take care of, but what a blessing it is to have that property. Second lesson, the sun was beating down on me. No, the sun was shining. It was beautiful out. It was definitely a little hot, but it was a beautiful sunny day. Third lesson, my body is capable of squatting down and pulling weeds, even though it's not fun. I'm thankful that God has blessed me with a body that is very functional and able to do those things. So in that moment, I could complain about it. I made my boys help me, and they definitely, actually their attitudes were really good yesterday, but usually they complain about it a lot. But I just was reminded, like, hey, I can take this 2 ways. I can look on the negative, or I can have that attitude of gratitude and be thankful for what I have and thankful that I can be out here doing this and just, it's much more fun if you have that right attitude. Thanks for watching. Sorry if it's a little long this week. I hope you have a great weekend. If I can help you in any way, please reach out.